Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about adjectives. Adjectives in Spanish, unlike in English, have to agree with the nouns that they describe. For example, you've got a man, a man and a woman, and two women. In Spanish, if I wanted to say that a man is active, I would say he's an active man, she's an active woman, they're active men and women, they are active women. I kept using the word active, but you'll notice that they had multiple spellings of active up here. If an adjective ends in O, you're going to always be able to change your O on the end of your word. Like here you have activo. You're going to always be able to change that O to an A to describe a female. So I would say un hombre activo, but I would say una mujer activa. And then when I have, when it's plural, I can add an S to each of those words to make them plural to describe more than one person. So this is the masculine adjective, active. And when I want to be the masculine plural adjective, I just add an O. And remember that you might be getting confused. How can this be masculine? There's a girl in there. Remember that for it to be masculine plural, it can either be made up of multiple men or just one man. And anytime there's a man in the group, it's masculine, regardless of whether there's a woman in the group or not. And then I can make activa plural to describe two women. So I could say, estas mujeres son activas, or son mujeres activas, okay? And I can do the same with serio. You'll see that O changed to an A, and then I made both of those plural. Adjectives that end in something other than O, which could be an A, could be an E, could be an L, could be a Z. You are gonna only have two spellings of these words. You're only gonna worry about making them plural and singular. So for example, here I've got alegre, which ends in an E, which means happy. If I want to say happy man, it's un hombre alegre. But for a happy woman, it's also una mujer alegre. But then I make it plural. María y Javier son alegres. María y Julieta son alegres. So I didn't have to, when I have an adjective that ends in something other than O, I usually don't have to worry about gender. I just have to worry about singular plural. And that's the same for inteligente. Un hombre inteligente, una mujer inteligente. But un hombre serio, una mujer seria. So remember, if your adjective ends in O, you have to worry about changing it to its feminine form. And if it ends in something other than O, even an A, like these ista always ends up only having one, that is for the male and the woman. So it's un hombre optimista, una mujer optimista. Julieta y Javier son optimistas, and Julieta y Maria son optimistas, okay? However, there are exceptions to that. If an adjective ends in R or it's an adjective of nationality, most adjectives of nationality and those that end in R or OR, sorry, do get a feminine form. So if your adjective ends in OR, like trabajador, you can add an A to it. I cannot change an E to an A, and I cannot change this A to an O, but I am allowed to add an A to trabajador. So this would be un hombre trabajador, una mujer trabajadora, and then I have to make both of those words plural. So remember, when you make words plural in Spanish, that if it ends in a consonant, like trabajador, this is a consonant. To make a consonant plural, I have to add ES. That's how I get trabajadores. When I want to make a noun plural, I'm sorry, not a noun, a vowel plural, I add an S, and that's how I get trabajadoras, okay? And it would be the same for, like I was just saying, most adjectives of nationality. If I wanted to say that these people are English, meaning they're from, or maybe I want to say French, they're from France, then it would be, for the man, it would be français, but I can add an A to that and get francesa. So I would say un hombre francés, una mujer francesa. And we already talked about making words plural, that if they're accented on their last syllable, that you drop the accent. That applies to anything. When you're making a word plural, you're adding extra letters to the word, which is changing often how the syllables line up. When I add this A, I've added not just an A, but an extra syllable. And so I've made it so that my E is now in a place where the accent should fall, so I take it out. So for any of these adjectives of nationalities that have an accent on the last syllable, when you are making them plural or making them feminine, you're going to drop the accent. So anyway, so if I want to say Maria and Julio are French, I would say son franceses, and I'm taking that francés, and since it ends in a consonant, I have to add an es. That's how I get franceses. And if I want to say Maria y Ana are French, I'd say son francesa, and then I add an S just because francesa ends in a vowel. And I can do that pretty much with all of my adjectives of nationality and adjectives that end in OR. And then this just reminds you down here that when you have an adjective that ends in Z, don't forget that the rules that you learn for making your nouns plural still apply to your adjectives, that Spanish does not like to have Z's next to E's. So you need to go ahead and change your Z to a C before you add the ES. Okay. So then, let's see. So let's do a little bit of practice. Down here it also tells you that ser can, you often use ser with, there are many uses of ser. There's two B's, two is, am, are. Ser is one of them. And they both get used with adjectives. The type of adjectives that go with ser are those that talk about your origin, where you're from, your personality, or your profession. So when you're using adjectives of origin, personality, and profession, you're often going to be using the verb ser. So if I want to say Juan is Mexican, I say Juan es mexicano. Carla is muy simpática. That's talking about her personality. So let's do a little bit of practice. So for example, up here, we always want our adjectives to agree with the person that's being described. So for example, we have Rosa. If Rosa is happy, alegre ends in E. And so since alegre ends in E, we don't make it feminine. So I would use, I would leave alegre alone. Alegre. Whoops. Okay. Simpático, however, does end in an O. That means I can change that O and make it feminine. So for Rosa, I would write simpática. And trabajador ends in OR, and I am allowed to make adjectives that end in OR feminine as well by adding an A to the end of the word. So I would write trabajadora. And egoísta ends in ISTA, and that's the same spelling for males and for females, so I would leave that one alone as well and just write egoísta. Okay, but if I wanted to say that Juan and Raúl are this way, simpático, I would need to now make plural because I'm talking about two people. They're both males, so I'm going to take the masculine form of simpático and just make it plural. So to say that they're nice, instead of using simpática, I use simpáticos. Trabajador, I'm making the masculine form plural. It ends in a consonant. It has an R, so I have to add an ES to make it plural. Trabajadores. So Rosa is alegre, simpática, trabajadora y egoísta. Juan y Raúl son alegres, simpáticos, trabajadores. So notice how when my subject is one person, all of my adjectives are singular. When I'm talking about multiple people, they all have S's added onto them. They're made plural. Egoísta is one that doesn't change for males or females, so I just use egoístas. Okay, now if I want to do it for Penelope, Maria, which are two girls, alegre, it ends in an E, so I don't worry about masculinity, femininity, I just make it plural. So it looks the same as it did for Raul and Juan. Simpático, however, ends in an O, so I can get a feminine form, which I did for Rosa, and now because it's two girls, I just need to make that feminine form plural to match my two girls. And trabajador is one that I can make plural. Make feminine, which I did for Rosa, and then I need to make it plural for Penelope and Maria Luisa. Trabajadoras. Okay. Okay, so you can see how I am describing all these people as being happy, nice, hardworking, and egotistical, and yet the spelling changed because in Spanish they make their adjectives agree with the nouns. So so I have singular and feminine spellings here because I'm talking about a girl. I have plural masculine spellings here because I'm talking about two boys, and feminine plural spellings because I'm talking about two girls. So here's another example. Okay, so your friend is taking a Spanish class. She was asked to write a paragraph about her friends, but she needs you to review the grammar, write the verb ser, and the adjectives provided in the correct form. So, ¿cómo son tus amigos? What are your friends like? Well, in general, they are nice. So the ser for they, if we go down here, ellos is they. You're talking about more than one person. You're going to write son. Okay, whoops, I want to make that red. Okay, and so I want to say that if I'm trying to say that they are nice, let me make this a little smaller. If we're talking about friends, then I have to make my simpático plural, and I'm going to leave it in the masculine form because I've got friends, which is either all boys or probably girls and boys. So I have to keep the masculine form because there's boys in the group. So, en general son simpáticos, and they're intelligent. Okay, so then here's inteligente. It's masculine. This one ends in E, so there is no feminine form. I just need to make it plural. Hardworking. Oh, you know what? I'm wondering. I messed up. Hold on. Not with the writing, just where I'm putting the spaces. So I should put son here. Simpático goes here. Okay. They're intelligent. And again, because I'm talking about friends, I need to make it plural. They're hardworking. And remember, trabajador ends in R, which is a consonant, so to make it plural, I have to add an ES, not just an S. And then we have generoso. We're going to make it plural because it's my friends, which are boys and girls, they're generous. Y nada egoísta, and I want to make that plural as well. Nada egoístas. En particular, mi amiga Laura. Now we're talking about one person, just Laura, because we're saying in particular, my friend Laura es muy inteligente. It ends in an E, not in an O, in its masculine form, so it doesn't have a feminine spelling. You would use inteligente. Okay, let's see. I might have a few more. Here's one more that we can do. So you can make your, and these are, you can make your adjectives agree. The noun doesn't just have to be people, it can be describing things. So here I've got blue, and blue is describing the socks. So I need blue to match socks. So then I have to figure out, is socks masculine? It's plural and it's masculine, and we know that because of the unos, or you could look it up. So here's azul. And I want to make it plural. It ends in a consonant, and so I add es. And there would be no feminine spelling of azul because it doesn't end in O and it doesn't end in R, and it's not an adjective of nationality. However, rosado does have more than one spelling, and what I'm describing as being pink here is a skirt. A skirt is feminine, so I need to change my rosado to rosada to match my skirt. Suéter, that un lets you know that suéter is masculine, so I would leave my negro, and we're just talking about one sweater. Here I've got multiple shirts, and they're feminine, so then I've got my anaranjado, jado. I have to make it feminine, and then I need to make it plural so that it matches camisetas. Pantalones is masculine and plural. We know that because of the unos. Gris is the masculine singular form. We want to make it plural. It ends in a consonant, so I add es, grises. Corbata is feminine and singular. I have a white tie. Here's the masculine spelling form of white. I just need to make it feminine. Verde, it's a cap that's green, and the cap is masculine and singular, so I just write verde. Usted lleva una blusa feo. Feo is ugly. It's describing a blouse. A blouse is feminine and singular, so I would write fea. Rafael y yo llevamos unos jeans. Jeans is masculine because of unos, so largo just needs to be made plural because it's in its masculine form, so I just add an S. And joyas bonito. Bonito is pretty. We're describing the jewels, which is feminine. We know that because of unas. So here is bonito. I need to change it to an A and then add an S so that everything matches.